Many years ago, it was a sunny day in the kingdom of Kumbaza, and the queen was walking around the palace to admire the palace, the pillars studded with gold and diamonds. And suddenly the queen misstepped and fell down. This fall is one fall in 3 centuries. No king, no queen falls, but Queen Keza fell. It's a very bad omen, the people said. Queen Keza isn't just a queen by lineage and inheritance, but she's a born and self-trained warrior. Queen Keza was the one who rescued the kingdom of Kumbaza from the cruel hands of the oppressive pharaoh of Ibuza land. Kumbaza kingdom had served pharaoh for 2 decades. They served without pay. Pharaoh of Ibuza land made sure Kumbaza people were brought to nothing. Their entire kingdom and resources belonged to this pharaoh. Queen Keza's father was killed in her presence by Pharaoh's men. As if that wasn't enough cruelty, Pharaoh's men took her mother away to do whatever they wanted. Queen Keza was 15 years old at this point. All she could do was let tears run down her cheeks for just a minute. Just a minute. Then a rock resolution to free Kumbaza kingdom from this oppression took over her entire life, spirit, soul, and body. Something about the 15-year-old Keza made men fear her. Some warrior men who had cruelty running through their blood and body system would take her but could not touch her even when left alone in the same room, locked up. Keza saw that, and her resolve to dedicate her life to the mission of rescuing her people became stronger. She knew that it is her life. It is her life mission. She thought of no other thing but this one thing: rescue Kumbaza from all oppressions of kings and pharaohs of this world. Even as a captive in Ibuza land, Keza had no fear. She only had one dream: born to rescue my people, born to deliver my people. But Queen Keza fell down years after she had fulfilled her mission to rescue Kumbaza people and land from the hands of their oppressors. How could that be? The chief priest of Kumbaza kingdom said the gods were angry. Queen Keza laughed and laughed. I said, angry? The gods are angry? The gods were not angry when my people were in bondage and served under merciless masters in Ibuza land. They were not angry when our golds and diamonds were carried away by our enemies. Chief priest, while I don't interfere with your field, I would wish you restrain yourself from meddling in issues of the kingdom that are clearly beyond you and your oracles. The chief priest bowed and left. The fall was certainly unsettling both to the queen and to her aides. The queen has a trusted friend, a confidant, and she's an older, wise woman, married with 5 grown children. She was not just a friend, but almost like a mother to Queen Keza. Late evening on the day of the fall, Queen Keza sent for Madame Nona. They sat down in the queen's palatial bedroom, and Queen Keza started telling the deepest story of her life. Short but deep. Madame Nona, I was an only child. So the king, my father, told me story after story about the kingdom and the kings of Kumbaza land. My great-grandfather was no pushover king. He had a 70-year-old reign, and his reign was peaceful, quiet. Because he took time early enough to silence all the enemies and kingdoms, he enjoyed a lot of rest. By the time my father became the king, he was no match to his grandfather. He lacked the warrior mindset of great kings. But my great-grandfather had prophesied before he died that a child would be born, a strong child, a born warrior. The child would take on the responsibility of rescuing the Keza kingdom from oppressors. Well, by that statement of prophecy, he sure cast a vote of no confidence on both my father and his father, that is, my own grandfather. Well, he had watched my grandfather grow up, and he saw his strengths and weaknesses and knew that another king should take the kingdom to freedom again. That is, for the kingdom to actually live in maximum freedom. As you know, my father's reign was full of turbulence. It's either his own cabinet men were at war with him over some decisions, or a kingdom was fighting our dear kingdom. It was a restless period for us all, even though I was a mere child. I thought inside me that there must be a way out of all this. However, I didn't know how. The day the Pharaoh of Ibuza land beheaded my king, my father, in my presence, I knew I had had it. I had had enough. The resolve inside me changed from I could to I must rescue the kingdom of Keza from the hands of these wicked men. You and a number of others were not carried away into captivity. We saw cruelty in their land to the max. My beautiful mother died after 2 years of daily rape by ruthless soldiers and hard labor. Having lost practically everything, I knew there was no going back. It's either they killed me or I killed them and brought them under our kingdom. As you know, my father didn't train me for war. He thought I was a mere female and wouldn't stand the rigors and intricacies of warfare. But that fateful day of the beheading of my father the king was a day my entire life changed. The trauma brought an uncommon change inside of an uncommon anger and strength surged inside me like a hurricane. I was just 15. The soldiers tried to rape me, but they couldn't. They couldn't even touch me, even as I stood in front of their naked bodies. Word went round that I couldn't be touched. Mom, the queen, bless her heart, heard the story and was very happy. The only day she saw me was the very day she passed on, because we were kept at different camps and not allowed to walk freely from place to place. But because she was too sick, she asked that I be brought to see her before she passed on. When she saw me, her face lit up. With her last strength, she sat up and smiled at me, then said, "Keza, remember, you are not ordinary. You are born with a mission. Never give in. Fight." She fell back into the bed and slept. She never woke up. The mystery here is that was the first time I heard such heavy and deep words from her. It kind of reinforced my resolve to rescue our kingdom. Some warriors are made, some are born. I was born a warrior without knowing it. I think it, I dream it, I walk it, I talk it, I live it. I was a captive with a difference. Then one day, their land fell out with another kingdom. The prince of that kingdom was the commander of their army, and he was at the forefront. It was a fierce battle. I watched it from a distance. It was a 3-week war. that kingdom pressed hard on the warriors of Ibuza land. Too hard. I didn't want to be carried captive again to their kingdom from Ibuza. One night, I convinced the soldier in charge of the camp I was kept in to let me go give the captain of war at the war front a message. The soldier insisted I told him what? Well, I braced up, looked him in the eyes and said, if you don't let me go now, the Surrender Kingdom warriors would overrun this land and you would be one of the first they would kill. He was frightened. Because he has also seen I was a different person, I was a captive of war, all right, but I had something. I had something within that was always frightening to them. He allowed me. I ran to the war front, met the captain. He was one of those who had attempted to rape me without success. Seeing me at the war front in the night was just too much for him to take. At that point in time, both warring sides were calm, resting from the battles of the day. He walked up to me and said, Keza, what are you doing here? What is it? Do you want my soldiers to harm you? I said, Sir, may I speak? He nodded in the affirmative. I am here because these Surrender Kingdom warriors are tough. And if we don't do something different in the next few hours, they would overrun Ibuza land completely and kill most of your soldiers. They would carry you alive and behead you in their palace. I am here to help. Help? Hey, you? Keza? Asked the captain. How? Are you trained? I said, yes and no, but I know what to do. I am self-trained. The time is short. They have pushed you people so far backwards. Let me get involved, please. Enough of their nonsense. The captain said, but you have no armor on. I said, just get me any. I'll be fine. I will lead the army with you. I will command the army with you. The captain said, you command my army? I said, sir, I could lead the army without you. I just want to give you the respect to lead with you. Rumors went round the army camp that a woman had come to join them in the battlefield. They had heard such a thing, but only in some faraway unknown kingdoms as mere stories. I assured the captain to relax, that in a few hours we would know, and also that Surrender Kingdom warriors would also know who the real commander is. I asked God, the creator and owner of the universe, to help me, to help us. It wasn't long and it was daybreak. I became a co-commander with the captain. The battle started. I stood in one place with the sword in my hand and killed 800 warriors in a few hours. They started pulling back. We kept going forward and pushing them backwards. They saw me and kept shouting and drawing back. Captain wanted us to stop, but I told him we would go on and finish them fast. The easiest way to beat the enemy is to hit hard, to hit bad, and to hit fast without relenting. My results shocked them. So by my results, which was clear to them, they started following my orders. We pushed on till we took over their king's palace. But the king and his prince bowed. They surrendered. That's why till today, the Surrender Kingdom still pays tributes to our kingdom of Kumbaza. Why us and not the land of Ibuza? Asked Madame Nona. It is simple. When we got back and soldiers had their loots of battle, I rested a few days and went to the captain. I said, now that you know that you are holding captive a people who have a lion as their leader, would you let my people go? Yes, I chose my words, a lion, not a lioness. He looked at me and said, Keza, you are extraordinary. In all my years of training and actual battles, I never saw anyone kill 800 men at the same time standing in one place. I was fighting all right, but occasionally I would glance at your direction and I saw the way they were falling all around you. Yes, Keza, I agree with you on one condition. Keza, would you marry me? Captain, I am not thinking about marriage now. My mission is far deeper than marriage. Life is in phases. This phase of my life cannot possibly accommodate marriage. So you could forget it. I need my people freed in peace. Captain said, well, yes, in peace. Who wants to engage Keza in a battle? I will talk to the Pharaoh. Just give me 3 days. So on the 4th day, Captain, having discussed with the Pharaoh, said, the Pharaoh wanted to see me. I got into his palace and bowed to him in respect. Then he said, I heard about you and how you delivered our army and indeed our land from the Sorita kingdom that wanted to overrun us. Now we have taken them captives. We beheaded their king yesterday, and their prince, we cut off his big toes, and he would never venture any attacks on us again. Never. Yes, the captain also said you want your people's freedom. It is okay, but if you go, we will still be collecting tributes from you in diamonds and gold. I listened quietly and wondered at how foolish a king or pharaoh could be. Is he not aware that I could kill him and his men right in his palace? So I bowed to him and said, I will leave and go back to Kumbaza kingdom with every one of my people, and we shall pay no tribute to anyone. Also, I will take over the kingdom of Sorita, whom I, with the help of your army, defeated in battle. Then also know that we could be friends with your land and help you whenever possible. We could form an alliance that benefits both of us on equal terms. We have served you for years, but you can see that there is a time to stop putting shackles on a people. That time is now. That's how they released us, and even the captain, with the permission of the Pharaoh, promised to come to help train our soldiers. But I rejected that offer. What does he know to train? He doesn't have the giant killer mindset that I have. He is a warrior that earns salary from the palace. I am a warrior on a mission, not for money or what to gain, but to completely free my people. After a few months, the captain came again to marry me. How could you marry someone bigger, stronger, and wiser than you? Yes, having enjoyed peace for some years now, I am suddenly thinking of having a husband. What do you think, madam? Somehow, that's what I was musing over when I fell. Could that be a wrong thought? Madam Nona said, no, it's certainly not a wrong thought. There's time for everything. I bet this is the right time. Then the queen said, my German teacher is a nice, strong young man, and aside teaching me German, he talks about many other things. It's so much fun to be with him. And when he is not there, I feel a bit empty. I am a warrior, but now there are no wars. Like love and loving fall in as next agenda for me. Well, said Madam Nona. Your German teacher looks a great man that carries himself with a lot of dignity. But it seems he is dating another lady. I will find out. Give me 5 days, please. So Madam Nona found the lady and asked direct questions. She makes baskets. She is so good at it, and her handwork fetches her a lot of money. She has 10 women in her employ. Madam Nona asked, "Are you about to marry or what? The way your face is shining." The lady said, "No, I am interested in that Queen's German teacher, but it seems he doesn't like me that much. I don't really know. He comes around and we talk quite some. I don't know if he is just playing with my emotions or what." Madam said, "Well, marriage isn't something one just goes into without asking deep questions. Maybe he is asking himself questions at this time, just like you are asking yourself some questions. Well, I wish you a great day ahead." She said, "Thank you, madam. Have a great day too." Madam also talked with German teacher. "Nna, when will you marry? This year or next year?" German teacher laughed so much and said, "Madam, I don't know yet. I'm still searching." Madam said, "Searching for what? With all the women around you, when would you make up your mind? Do you want to develop white hairs before you make a move?" Anyway, I will leave you for now. Just know that I am waiting for your I am getting married news." He laughed and said, "Okay, ma, you will hear it soon." 4 months after, German teacher proposed to the basket maker. She gladly accepted. He took her to Madam's house to break the news to her. Madam congratulated them and even gave them some light refreshment. The next day, Madam went to see the Queen to tell her what the German teacher had done. Queen Keza became sick immediately. Every German lesson ended. It stopped. She was too sick to attend the lessons, and she didn't want to see the teacher either. Days rolled into weeks, and Queen Keza was still in bed, sick. When German teacher wasn't seeing Queen Keza, he broke down too. His fiancée wondered why. Why not seeing the German teacher? The teacher kept asking her after the Queen, hardly paying attention to all she was doing to help him get back to his feet. Finally, she asked, "It is like you are physically engaged to me, but loving the Queen in your heart instead. I don't understand. I am here with you every time it is Queen this, Queen that, Queen that, Queen. I don't really understand this. Is it because you are her German teacher that I won't hear word again? I don't understand. What's all this? I really don't understand it." Oh wow. Amazing friends. Thank you for watching till this point. It seems this is getting really long, so we will break it at this point. Do expect part 2, where we would get to know what happens to the love part of the warrior Queen Keza of Kumbaza Kingdom. What have you learned from this story? What do you think about Queen Keza? The kings and pharaohs of those days were really wicked, brutal. They treated their fellow human beings far less than animals. If you were as helpless as the people of the kingdom of Kumbaza at that time, what would you do? What have you learned from this story? For me, it's a big lesson on power, resilience. Understand your mission in life and don't let anyone or anything stop you. There's something you were born to do, to achieve. There's a problem you were born to solve. Be ready to tackle that no matter what. Be unstoppable. Let the warrior in you rise to fight to win. What do you really think of all this? Please share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Also, please encourage us to roll out more African real-life stories by giving this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Yes, please remember to click the bell icon so you would be among the first to know when we upload another very interesting story video. And please share our stories with your friends and family. Till our next video, remain truly amazing. This is African Folk Tales, ChinChin. Goodbye. And thank you again for watching.